Hi everybody, welcome to another video. This one's the WS400 Iwata v the Sagola 460 Xtreme with the DVR clear cap. So both clear guns being used for clear coat. Before I start, I'd just like to say a quick thank you to all the subscribers, people liking the videos, etc. It is much appreciated. The more people, as far as I'm concerned, the more people that see the videos, the better really. So yeah, it's all great, thank you. The other thing is there's a bit of misting on the lens, which is I normally clean, and for some reason I forgot. So it's just the overspray sticks to the lens. Anyway, so back to the guns. So we're starting with the WS400. Now the WS400 it's a funny gun because we have a thing over in the UK called Marmite. It's a yeast extract, and I've mentioned it before. And people either love it or hate it. There's no sort of in between. And I think this is definitely a Marmite gun because it's the only gun I can think of that I've got that you can't use for some reason on full fan. Normally, most of the guns I use on full fan, unless it's something odd you're doing or particular, I just open the fan up on full, adjust the fluid and the pressure to where I want, and away I go, you know. And you might want to adjust the fluid or the pressure, but you leave the fan where it is. And with this you can't. So there's normally two settings I find, because this is one of the things that comes up a lot on the internet, is what settings for the WS400. Well, the two settings I find I use the most is if I'm after a Japanese style, which is quite a fine style orange peel, and most of the bike stuff is Japanese, so that's what I get involved with. I do free out on the fan, so fully in, free out, and fully in on the fluid, free out, and that gives you a reasonably good peel with a HS clear. Speed and pressure you'll have to adjust yourself, but I normally find about 2 or 2.1 bar, which is about 29 to 30 psi. But if you're after a bit of a flatter finish like this, I use 2 1/4 turns out on the fan and the fluid to suit. With this one, because I wanted it quite flat and fast, I had it on full fluid. So it was a 2 1/4 out and full fluid. And that seems to work, you know, seems to work reasonably well. Well, pretty well, yeah. I mean, you see the finish at the end is a high resolution, non-misty finish, which, you know, it comes out really, really good. Slightly different pattern to the Segola. If you see, look at the test piece I do on the side there so that people can see the fan side, pattern. The Segola is a slightly squatter, wider pattern. In fact, I don't think I did one there, but I do one later. So it's a slightly wider pattern. As far as using it goes, the Segola is lovely. I really, really like it. This was, I think, the second time I'd used the gun because I'd only recently got it. I got it with just a few different air caps and tip sizes. I got a real good, well, I thought I got a really good bargain anyway. So there's plenty of different sort of combinations I can use it in. But as I say, this is set up for clear 1.3 XL as opposed to the 1.3 HD high delivery on the WS400. So I'm comparing what I think is like for like. Everything else the same, conditions and that are the same. It's quite cold. The heater's on in between. The infrared heater, because it started off at 9 degrees but went down to 5 degrees Celsius, which is about 44, 43 Fahrenheit. So not ideal for clear coat, but you know, they both performed admirably. Is that right? Yeah, you know what I mean. They both performed really well and, you know, worked fine. So what I would say is if you're really like the look of the WS400, I wouldn't advise it really, because they are, you know, you might find it really, really good and loads of people really like it, but it's not as the Segola to me, I think anybody could use it and do well with it. It's a bit like the GTI Pro Light or Techno Pro Light. It's one of those guns, you know, pick that up with a T20 air cap, you can be at home more or less straight away, you know. And if you're not too sure about what you're doing, or you know, you're not too sure about things, it's difficult to go wrong with it. And that's what the Segola's like. It's really, you see the pattern there is slightly wetter in the middle more than the other one, the WS400. but it just feels so much nicer to use. Well, that's wrong actually. It doesn't feel nicer to use. It feels more at home to use. You know, you feel more comfortable with it. And I don't mean the physical grip. I just mean the way it sprays. You just feel like it's doing it for you. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. The Segola's doing it for you, whereas with the WS400, you're doing it for it. If that makes sense. So you know, both of them really good guns. I'm not knocking the Iwata. It's just some people find it difficult to use. I actually get on with it all right, but I know a lot of people don't. But you can see the results here. The Iwata gives a really good finish. The Segola gives a really good finish. They're both about the same price point, so there's not much to choose between the two. But if you're looking for a really good clear gun, go for the Sagola. I'm really impressed with that. And as you know, I've got quite a few guns. You know, this is a leisure activity, so I have lots of time to experiment and try. And I really like the Sagola. I'm falling in love with them. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. Bye bye.